Howdy, howdy, folks. You all are probably going to be amazed, but I think I actually have everything up and running the way it's supposed to. Not completely sure, but I think so. Still trying to get myself live over here on the YouTube. I'm not seeing that, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. I have a very, very fine pairing for you today with a very rich cigar, and I think this duo is really going to hit the mark as far as being a wonderful, wonderful pairing. And we're gonna find out. But I am pairing. This is one that I have not paired in quite a while. Elijah Craig small batch. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I can go back far enough to find the last time I paired this small batch. It was probably like, well, I'm in about to start my 5th season, and it was probably about the end of the 1st season, maybe into the 2nd. Not really completely sure about that. But anyway, I am pairing it with, and there I am right there, a La Gloria Cubana Serie number 5 natural. This also comes in a Maduro, which is much darker than this one, but this is the natural. And I believe this combination is really going to send us on a journey that is just deep and flavorful and like really rooted in some bold characters. La Gloria Cubana, for those of you that don't know, is the brainchild of E.P. Carrillo. E.P. Carrillo brand is another one of those iconic brands that is known for its good cigars. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into this. This is Elijah Craig small batch. It is a classic Kentucky straight bourbon. It is known for its depth and its warmth and a little bit of spiciness. It's 94 proof. It strikes a kind of a refined balance between approachability and complexity. Go ahead and hold that up so you can get in there. This is distilled by the folks over at Heaven Hill Distillery. You know, I've paired their 7-year bottled in bond here recently. Yeah, it comes from the same place. So anyway, now this was Elijah Craig 12-year. And back a while ago, for whatever marketing reason, they decided to get rid of the 12. And while I'm sitting here looking at the bottle, they've been doing this since 1789. So this is now a non-age statement whiskey, but is still believed to be they're believed to have somewhere in the 8 to 12 year range of barrel aging. So we just don't know for sure. As I said, it's 94 proof. So that is 47% alcohol by volume. If my math is correct, my notes say 46, and I know 6 and 6 is 12. So it's not 92, it's 94. So it's got to be 7. I live with a math teacher, so I had to be fairly sharp. The mash bill is 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. Now the rye should add a nice spiciness to it, but with that high a content of corn in it, bourbon has to be 51% or more, but with 78%, there should be some really nice sweet notes in there too. That's a lot higher than what you'll find, in my opinion, in most bourbons. Most bourbons are going to be in the 50s and 60s. And then they may, whether it's a wheated bourbon or they use rest malted barley or they use rye or whatever, that makes up the rest of it. Anyway, we'll move on. On the visual, that is just a beautiful, beautiful, deep copper color with those nice reddish orange tints in it, like you would have in a nice piece of copper. And it has some really nice legs to it. Legs of the cling to the glass. On the nose, there's just a hint of kind of, I'll say bitter, but kind of sour, on the nose and alcohol burn. Just a hint, just enough for you to go, ooh. And then all of a sudden you get this warm vanilla and like toasted oak, baking spices. There's some hints of caramelized sugar in it, which is definitely from the high corn content. It's a really good smelling spirit. I couldn't remember that much about this spirit, and I was looking for a good spirit to go with this cigar, and I pulled this one out and dusted it. Well, there's still a little dust on the bottle. There might be a little dust on the bottle. I'll write a song about that. So anyway, let's go ahead and try the palate. Kind of the first thing that I pick up is there's a really good rush of oak in the beginning. And I thought I remembered that about this spirit. I thought it was really oak forward. I also get some nice rich notes of butterscotch, kind of some ripe dark fruits along the lines of plums. There is some spice burn on the front of your tongue. And I would almost say, probably from the char and the oak barrels, maybe a hint of smokiness, but then that's kind of wrapped in with some more baking spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. Yeah, if you like nice oaky bourbons, you're really going to like this, because that first second or two in your mouth, it just really bursts with oak. And I'm not saying an overpowering oak. I'm just saying a nice burst of oak. And then it kind of fades into all those other notes on the palate. And the finish is long. It's got a very long finish on it. It's still hanging on, but it is very smooth. It is slightly drying. I don't know that I've ever said that before. But you do get this kind of lingering, kind of charred oak. I don't need your help. And just a little bit of subtle heat. And the layered profiles on this spirit, it offers you both sweet and spicy. And I think it's going to make a really great partner for a more full-bodied cigar. And that's going to, dude, I don't need your help. I'd bring Sadie out here if I needed the dog barking. So we're going to move on into the La Gloria Cubana Serie R. I hope I'm not being too monotone. I'm trying not to be, but this particular stick, this is the La Gloria Cubana Serie R, number 5, natural. I believe I said this in the beginning. There is also a Maduro, which is a much darker cigar. But this is, and I want you to notice, there is a lot of molting, the different colors. It kind of goes from light brown to dark brown on these leaves. And also appears to be a bit of tooth in there. We'll see. I love tooth. This is a 5.5 by 54 on the ring gauge. 5.5, 54. Is considered a Robusto. The filler is Dominican and Nicaraguan long fillers. The binder is Nicaraguan. And the wrapper is a beautiful and rather silky Ecuadorian Sumatra. Visually, I noted the molting just a minute ago. It kind of goes from medium to dark brown. There is moderate veining. I mean, I won't say minimal veining. There's quite a few veins that are visible. I won't say that any of them are extremely pronounced. Maybe that one right there, if I can catch the light just right, you can see it. I'm going to say, hey, everybody. Maybe. Hi, all. I hope there's people out there that will say hi back. I can't see how many's on here. Oh, me. I'm just me. Hi. Um, anyway, back to where we were. The seams are visible, but they are tight. So, and I do feel a little bit of roughness right here, but it's way early in the stick. I think it almost feels like there's a piece of a stem right about there. You might be able to see it kind of push up, but I'm glad it's down here and not like way up here. That would be if it's way up here, then you might end up with a problem. But it's way down there. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, on the nose, I get some really nice notes of like fresh earth and barnyard. There's some nice grassy hints to it and some baking spice. And there's a little bit of kind of an espresso laced sweetness to it. All right. Let's go ahead and give it a cut and test out the cold draw. Don't do that in a cigar shop. Yeah. And then stick it in the cigar shop. Now, I guess if you want to do your cutter, that's fine. But don't do it with the. Yeah, that's a good way to get people at the cigar shop mad at you, because they don't want to be tasting your spit after they cut their cigar. They'll be like, no, I'll just bite the cap off like in the old days. Oh, and I didn't mention this has an extremely large double cap. Yeah, just happened to look at that as I was checking out my V cut. I saw a post today on X. It was about cigars, and they were saying, what is the hill you will die on when it comes to cigars? And one guy was like, straight cut is the only cut, and he's talking about with this one, the guillotine, not this one, the V cut. And I prefer the V cut. I'll cut it anyway, whatever cutter I've got available. But if I have my Cassetti multi-cutter, which will do any of them, it will do a punch, it will do a guillotine, it will do a V cut. I typically just use the V. I just like it. Personal preference. So I don't get too combative on stuff like that, because it is personal preference. We give it a nice toasting with the Rocky Patel Envoy. You know what I didn't do? Forgot to cold draw it. Sorry, I was excited, and I was busy talking about the guy that thought a guillotine cut was the only cut. Sorry, happens. We're live. All right, I had to take it. It seemed like it wasn't lighting well, but I think it is. I get some really nice notes of black pepper, so really nice spice in the beginning. Then there's some like dark chocolate, really rich chocolate. So you get a nice sweetness there. And then there is a really good dominant note of like espresso. Yeah, I like that. I really don't get much on the retrohale except some black pepper. Which is kind of the black pepper and the spicy cigars are kind of a hallmark of Nicaraguans. And this has quite a bit of Nicaraguan leaf in it. It is amazing. Oh, another thing that was on this post that I was reading on was a guy said machine rolled cigars are better than hand rolled. Are you stupid? No, it has to be hand rolled. It's not a premium cigar if it's not hand rolled. You know, if you want White Owl, what was the other one? What was the other big? King Edwards. Yeah. Backwood smokes. Yeah. You want all those, go to 7-Eleven. Don't film it because it's not worth it. You need a premium hand-rolled cigar rolled by authentic Central Americans. It is a really good cigar. That's a really good cigar. But we're here to try them together, so, you know. And I will say it puts out a lot of smoke. That's why I was kind of taken aback in the beginning. I thought this thing's not lighting. But after a few puffs, it fired right on up. But the smoke is nice and thick, and it's almost, you can almost chew it. Go try it. That's more like, it's hard to do like that. Anyway, you're not here to see me act stupid. Or maybe you are. I don't know. I would say that when you put these two together, I'm afraid I'm going to knock the slider over and it's going to make a whole bunch of noise. I mean, it is like an indulgence. The cigar's kind of dark and bittersweet chocolate, and the pepper play nicely with the soft kind of caramel and baking spice notes off of the cigar. I mean, off of the spirit. Soft fly. Better not get into my drink. Sorry, I don't normally do that, but it's hot here in Texas today. It's muggy. They're saying it's going to storm. So we're going to see. I hope not, because they were saying there's a good chance of hail. And I was like, hail, no. Sorry, that's my dad joke. So, you can see how the smoke hangs around my face. And then the wind is there's a slight breeze right now, and it's pulling the smoke out of the glass, but it hangs there really well, which I say every week. That doesn't mean anything. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't, it doesn't mean anything. This is what I like to see. I just like to watch the smoke hanging in the glass like a fog. I just think it's cool. So I got my Aggie shirt on, one of my Aggie shirts. I got a whole bunch of them. But I actually meant, it's one of those things like I always think I'm ready, and then I always figure out there's one thing that I didn't do. I actually meant to wear one of my Freedom Fatigues shirts. Memorial Day's coming up, and 4th of July is a month after that. You need to get you some nice patriotic wear, you know, blazing to the American flag, or don't tread on me, snake, or whatever. And you can find all that at Freedom Fatigues. And I will put a comment in the link of the video that will show you how to get there. And once you're there, if you put in Sticks-n-Stonez 20, all crammed together, no punctuation of any kind, Sticks-n-Stonez 20 at checkout, you'll get 20% off. Now, I'm really kind of impressed with how, even though this is a really full-bodied cigar, at how his first sips of the Elijah Taylor have really kind of tamed the spice down a little bit, and the cigar has really enriched the bourbon's vanilla and oaky notes. Oaky, yeah. I got an ex-wife in Oklahoma. Keep hoping for a tornado. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it on the air. I'll blow a bunch of smoke on that fly. It'll go away. We're going to burn this one down to the half and see how it goes from there. But I hope everybody's been having a good week. Like I said, Memorial Day is coming up next weekend, next Monday. I think almost everybody's off unless you're a policeman, fireman, doctor, nurse, hospital. Well, military would kind of be off unless you're somewhere that you can't be off. And we all appreciate you for standing there on those holidays. Very appreciative. I did 21 years in the military. I know when I was deployed, I was in Baghdad at Thanksgiving, and my family was like, "You make sure you go down to the dining facility and have Thanksgiving lunch because they'll have turkey and all the standard stuff, all cooked by people from Southwest Asia." But the thing is, the base I was on, right there at the edge of the runway at Baghdad International Airport. Yeah, we caught a bunch of rockets and mortars. They were going to shut that base down before we got there, and then the Army pitched a fit because that's how they got their people out on their 2-week R&R. And so the Air Force decided to keep it, but they had already taken down the dining hall and all that stuff and moved it out. So our dining facility was like 3 miles down the road. You had to leave our base, get out on a road where they found IEDs regularly, and go down to this dining hall. And the dining hall had been hit by a mortar round. So I was just sitting there that I didn't have to go to work till, I think I may have been off that day. Anyway, so I was like, I don't feel like you had to get a weapon. You had to take ammo. You had to put your helmet and flak, your bulletproof jacket and plates and all 40 pounds of that, and tell you everything. And you had to go in a big old group. And I was just like, I ain't feeling it today. So I went over to the entertainment tent where they had some pool tables and TVs, and I sat over there and watched TV. And I ate a ground beef steak with mushroom gravy or whatever, MRE. Yeah. The family was a little pissed that I didn't. I'm like, hey, look, I mean, I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving dinner. It's not worth rockets and mortars and IEDs. No. I mean, I had a steak, ground steak. You're basically talking about a hamburger patty with gravy over it. But it was good. It didn't make me sick. I actually got food poisoning off a spaghetti MRE once. And you always dumped all the little condiment stuff, all the salt, all the pepper. You had the little bottle of hot sauce. You empty it and everything. So you couldn't really tell if anything was bad or not after you got done with it. Doctored it all up like that. And then you have you some Ranger pudding. That's where you take the hot cocoa powder and the coffee powder, and you just mix it up with a little bit of water into a pudding and eat it. Yeah, they keep you awake for a while. But the spaghetti MRE was nothing compared to the food illness I got. I don't even know if it could be considered food poisoning. The food illness I got from eating at the little restaurant over on the other side of the airport on an Army base. We had heard about it, how good it was and all that. We hadn't had anything other than military food, but when the Army moved in and took over that area, they left that restaurant there. They let them go ahead and keep serving. Don't know why. But anyway, so we went around there. We pull up to the place, and there's literally like 30 people in line getting in to go in. So we go in, and it's got the gyro with those big, they shave it off the thing that's rotating on the spit. We sat down, and there was a picture of us. There's like 6 of us. We're all sitting there with our plates, and we hadn't even eaten anything yet. We got the waiter to take a picture of us, and we're all, as the last time we were smiling for about a week. There was one one woman with us. I believe she's the one that they had to airlift her out to cut her to get to the hospital, and she was bad. Me, I just couldn't get vertical without having to go to the bathroom. As long as I was laying in my bunk, I was okay. But as soon as I stood up, still had to work. I didn't get any sick days off. You know, you had to work, so I was there. And so the first day we're going like, all right, well, we'll just have you work in the office. We were we were flight line managers. We had to go out and meet all the planes and all that kind of stuff. And so I tried being in there, and I'm like, this ain't working for me. I need to be out on the flight line, because if you're out on the flight line, you got the truck. If you got the truck, you can go down to the other end of the flight line down there, right by the base commander's office, where they had the really nice porta-johns that were in like a job site trailer, air conditioning, wide stalls so you could spread out. Not that I needed to. But I went to medical a couple of times. Finally, I went in, and I didn't get to see one of the nurses this time. I actually saw the doctor, lieutenant commander, not lieutenant commander, lieutenant colonel, lieutenant commander's Navy, lieutenant colonel. And I was like, Doc, I've lost 10 pounds in 7 days. And he said, yeah, I think we need to give you something a little bit stronger. And he rattled back in his case back there, and he comes out, and he's like, say hello to my new friend. And he brings out these shit brown capsules, and he gives me 7 of them. And he said, take one of these a day for the next 7 days. Don't stop. Take them all. I stopped. I took it like 5 or 6 days, and I kept 1 or 2, because I'm like, if I ever have anything like this again, I want to know I got something to stop it, because I took 1 pill and I stopped. Made me feel a whole lot better. See, you come on this show, you don't just get talking about cigars. You get all kinds of good information. I told you about the weather here in Texas. It's looking like it's kind of looking like it may come some hail today. You get to find out about a cigar and a good spirit. You get some war stories. Keeps you entertained, right? It hasn't been burning like really, really straight. It's not like too wavy either, but it seems to be burning a little offset. Could have been the problem I showed you earlier with the lumps out at the end of the cigar. It's probably a stem, and it may be causing it to burn a little funky. It is kind of weird at the things that will affect a cigar and the cigar burn. But I will tell you, this is probably one of the best cigars I've had in a while. I mean, the Opus X I did a few weeks ago. It was really good, but this is an excellent cigar. And I'm not sure why I haven't paired Elijah Craig more than I have. That's really good. I mean, I hadn't had a sip out of the bottle since way back then, like 2-3 years ago. But I will say, through this process, my palate has changed as I've sampled all these different kinds of whiskeys, from Scotch, Japanese, bourbon, American, Texas, all that kind of stuff. Where when I first started, I was still kind of a newbie. I'd done a lot of drinking of spirits, but just not concentrating on them. Just drinking them, go to a bar, you have a few drinks. But you're not really concentrating on the flavors that you're getting. You may be like, oh, this tastes good, but you don't really concentrate on why does it taste good. Or if you don't really like it, why? See, I don't like Islay scotches generally. It's too smoky and too peaty for me. I don't like all that. I say this quite a bit on these, that I do like Berklotics Classiclati. That is one of the lower smoke, lower peat Islay scotches. Now they have a bunch of other ones that are typical, heavy smoke, heavy peat. I think the Port Charlotte is one of them. And if you like all that stuff, I know Lagavulin is really popular. I just don't, I don't really care for it. It's my personal opinion. It's just too smoky for me. Too smoky. It to me, it's like drinking a pile of ashes. Sorry if any of you from Lagavulin is watching this. I never tell anybody, don't buy this. But I think if what I tell you gives you some, frame of reference, you now know what to kind of expect when you try that one. And you may try it and be like, he said this was terrible, but I like it. Okay, that's good for you. That's what that is what I hope to accomplish, is educating people. That's how I've had some smoky, peatier scotches like Talisker. I've got another one too. I can't remember which one. But anyway, Talisker is more smoky, peaty. Now it may be a little on the lighter side, not like the Classic Laddie, but not quite as much. Because I've had it a couple of times. I've got a bottle of it in there. Probably need to pair it again. But, looks like I'm still the only one out here. Really? Ain't nobody? Oh, I guess today's is just a down day. Last week was, I think I had a couple of dozen people on here. Something like that. But most of your views come after you've done it. People finding it, more than likely stumbling upon it. Hang on here. I need to, Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez is inside. I need to ask her a question. One thing I do love about the iPad is I can send text messages while I'm doing this. I can't do it on the phone, but I can do it here. I still use my, I have a laptop, but it's a hybrid laptop. You can actually detach the keyboard from it and use it like a tablet. But I use it more as a regular laptop. It stays on my desk, put up, and that's where I do, a lot of my, nice breeze. But I like keep my iPad next to my chair when I'm watching TV, and I'm on it a lot. And that's where I take my notes and all that kind of stuff as I'm getting ready for shows. That is a really good spirit. I am very surprised and kind of saddened that that's all I have. That's all I have left. Been doing that a lot lately. I don't know. I guess it's getting older. I used to be able to miss stuff like that really quickly. I don't have as good of reflexes now. Still, as you can see, as I rotate it, how high it goes. See that angle? But that's a lot of ash. It's got a big ash on it. I'm afraid it's going to fall in my lap. But I'll get back to over there. other than the kind of, it's just a little kind of funky burn. It's not terrible, but you get some that are just really nice and crisp. And just has like little waves. People talk. I see people talk about, oh yeah, it's a razor straight burn line. I don't ever see that. I think maybe they're using the as a razor straight, because even in the spots where this one is straight, there's still just little bitty tiny waves in it. So, but I will say that is a good looking ash. Yeah, it is. Look at the lens. Well, I've gone over my 30 minutes that I like to try and stay at. And on this side, we're at the halfway mark. On this side, we're not quite there, but we're there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give you my mid cigar update. As we've gotten closer to the middle, uh, I've seen some kind of notes of leather and a really sweet molasses, like that really heavy kind of sweetness, but not like overpowering, and some kind of toasted nuts emerge with the pepper and the spice kind of softening up a little bit. Um, and as the cigar has developed, uh, watching Ghost Adventures up here, uh, as the cigar has developed into a more complex territory with leather and molasses, and then we had some kind of like we had a little bit of the espresso stuff going on in the beginning. Uh, the bourbon has managed to keep up pretty effortlessly, I think. Uh, it's got uh, that subtle kind of fruitiness, with like the dark fruits. Um, and I think I said plums in the beginning, but also more, kind of like figs, cherries, kind of dried fruit. Uh, and it really shines against the richness of this Ecuadorian Sumatran wrapper. Um, and I think you would really, really enjoy this pairing. I really do. You should try it. You touch this up again, because I'm still going to smoke the rest of this even when I let y'all go. But I think if you appreciate bold flavors, uh, you would definitely like this pairing. Um, the Elijah Craig small batch, say a lot. It has a steady kind of flavorful base to it, and the Gloria Cubana uh, offers a kind of a complexity and a power without overwhelming your senses. Overall, I would give this pairing like a 9.2 out of 10. I think that's probably fair. Um, it is balanced and bold, and they beautifully match together. It is like a truly classic pairing of a seasoned bourbon that bourbon and cigar lovers alike will enjoy. Yeah, and you can kind of see right here. See how that go over to this side? Oh, it's nice, and then you go over to this side, and it's kind of wonky. Right in there. Yeah, I think that's where we were talking about that stem possibly being in there earlier. I think that's where you're kind of seeing that. So anyway, I'm going to let you go, let you get on with your day. Um, I really appreciate you watching. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells, all that kind of stuff. And definitely follow me. I primarily on Twitter, but I'm also on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, not as much. I am there though. I did make a change this week. I left Spotify as my host and I moved back to Sprecher. Uh, Spotify made a change to the monetization rules, and basically smaller platforms or smaller, what do they call us? Influencers, social media personalities, whatever. It makes it very hard for you to try to get monetized. Where before, I was getting monetized. I didn't make anything, little pennies here and there. But now you have to have like 10, it's 1,000 hours a month per episode. That's a lot. So you can still find me on Spotify, but now it's hosted on Spreaker and carries to Spotify. I would appreciate if you went to Spreaker and watched, but if you can't, that's okay. But it's like Spotify. It's a free tool. You can listen to the podcast over there for free. Just download the app. They're really good people. I really, I was with them before, but I went back to Spotify because so many people use Spotify. But it is what it is. Anyway, until we get to be together.